Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a video that is kind of fun, kind of random. I just kind of thought of it off the top of my head, and I always talk about on my channel piercings and tattoos that I want to get or just things that really kind of interest me, but I've never done a video talking about piercings and tattoos that I would never get. So that is exactly what this video is going to be. It's going to be piercings and tattoos that I would never get. Not necessarily tattoos that I wouldn't get, but like areas of the body in which I wouldn't get them, if that makes sense. Excuse my little updo today. I'm trying to do things with my hair. I never do things with my hair. The only thing I do with my hair is put in extensions and just let it fall straight. I never actually put it up in ponytails or do anything with it, so I decided to do kind of like a little half pony going on here. So a little disclaimer before I get into piercings and tattoos that I wouldn't get is if you have any of these piercings or anything that I mentioned in this video, that does not mean that I think you're ugly. That does not mean that I'm hating on you or anything like that. This is all just my personal opinion and my own personal preference. It does not, like, what I say I don't like doesn't mean that it's ugly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just sharing my own opinions and just things that I would never get because I don't think they would be aesthetically pleasing on myself. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a little list on my phone and I'm just going to be, a little list. I have 7 things on here that I wouldn't get, and we're going to start off with piercings first. So, piercings that I wouldn't get, and I'm not gonna say like never get or anything like that, because I remember I always said that I hated eyebrow piercings and I hated septum piercings. Well, look at me now. I have my eyebrow pierced and I have my septum pierced. So I'm not gonna say I would never get these because you don't know what you're gonna be like in a couple years. You could totally change, your style could totally change, but as of right now in this moment, these are just things that I wouldn't get because I don't think they look very good, and I just don't think they would look good on me in general. So the first piercing is a bridge piercing, and if you don't know what a bridge piercing is, it is this area right here in which you get pierced. It is a surface piercing, so it does get pierced through that piece of skin right in the bridge of your nose. And I don't know, I never really liked those piercings, not because I don't know, I just feel like having one, I just feel like you would constantly be like that. I mean, I know you wouldn't because you do adapt and you do, get used to the piercing being there, but I don't know, I just feel like it would just be very, kind of distracting, and I just don't think it would look good on me because I have such a, I don't know, like my eyes are kind of close together and it just wouldn't look good. Like, it just wouldn't make sense on my face. So that is one that I would never get. And also rejection rates for those are quite high because it is a surface piercing. So I just wouldn't ever get a bridge piercing, and I don't ever see myself changing my opinion on that just because I don't know, I just don't really like them. I don't know. The next piercing I would never get is one that people say, oh, you would look so cute with this all of the time. All of the time, people are always like, you should get this piercing, blah, blah, and that is an industrial piercing. If you don't know what industrial is, it is the piercing, with the bar, with the upper helix and then the lower helix, and then you just have one bar right in the middle conjoining the two. Everybody is always like, oh, are you ever gonna get an industrial piercing? I think that would look really cute on you. I don't think I would ever get one. The reason being is because I'm not scared of pain. I do have a very high pain tolerance. I can handle a lot of pain, but I don't want to have to deal with that pain because industrial piercings are known to be, very painful to get done. And they're usually really expensive anywhere you go. Even my shop charges very, very cheap for piercings. Even they charge higher amounts for industrial piercings. I don't know why that is, but they are generally very, very painful to get. They do take a very, very long time to heal. I mean, usually all helix piercings in that area do take a long time to heal, but especially industrial piercings because you are getting pierced through the upper part and not necessarily through, so it does take a little bit longer to heal. And also, when I get helix piercings, like this one or this one right here, is my body for some reason just doesn't like it at all. Does not like when I get those type of piercings. It just reacts horribly horribly, horribly. So I cannot imagine ever getting an industrial and dealing with two at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like having one up here and then one down here. I just could not even imagine the immense pain of healing that would be. And just knowing how my body is with helix piercings, I don't think I could ever do it. So I know so many people ask me if I'm ever gonna get one, and the answer is no, definitely not. Next piercing that I wouldn't really ever consider for myself is cheek or dimple piercings. I think I don't know, it's kind of like a thing with cheek piercings that I have. Like I have a love-hate relationship with them because some of the times I'll see people with cheek piercings, I'm like, that doesn't look good at all. And then sometimes I'll see people who have a certain face type or they have certain jewelry in them and I'm like, okay, see, that looks good on them. Me, myself, I can personally say that I will never ever get cheek piercings just because they are a piercing that you do have to commit to. Like they are something that, I mean, all piercings are commitments, obviously, but cheek piercings are something that you have to literally like, I really want this, I really, really want it, and I'm willing to, you know, handle it. And the reason being is because they do leave quite noticeable scars. I mean, it is on your cheek. It's not like you can disguise it with makeup like you could a lip piercing. I mean, there's holes in your cheeks, right? So it's just, I could never do it. One, it would not look good on me at all. And two, I just find it very, very hard, or very rarely do I find that they look good on people. I mean, I really only like cheek piercings if you have shorter jewelry in it and it kind of sucks in your face like that. That's when they look cute to me. When they have more of a dimple effect with like a little jewel. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Sometimes when I see people with cheek piercings and the bars are sticking way out and the balls are like huge on them, I just think that looks absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not judging, like I don't judge people if I see them. I'm like, that's great, you're confident, you're happy with them, that's awesome. But I just couldn't ever like be happy with myself. You know what I mean? If I had that, I don't know, I just don't really like them. If you ever want to get cheek piercings, just make sure it's something you really want to commit to, and that's something I could never commit myself to. The next piercing that I would never consider getting is an inverted belly button piercing. And if you don't know what that is, I will go ahead and show you. I'll just stand right up. So here I have a belly button piercing, obviously. We all know what a belly button piercing looks like. An inverted belly button piercing is a piercing that is down here as well. So this is an inverted one. So it's kind of like the top one, but just flipped down, so it's right here. And that is a piercing that I would never get, and I do have my own personal reasons behind this because when I first got my belly button pierced, I was almost 18. I was like 5 days away from turning 18. So I've had it for quite a while. And it was my very, very first piercing other than my ears. So I really didn't know what to expect, as you would with, you know, everyone's first piercing. You really don't know what to expect. And at the time, I wasn't really, you know, knowledgeable about belly button piercings and things like that. So I didn't think the healing process was going to be that grueling. When in actuality, that piercing took so long to heal. The process was so ugly and so incredibly gruesome. I could never in my life go through that again. I just couldn't. I have 1,000,001 videos on my belly button piercing if you want to like know more about like, you know, healing signs, how to clean, how to change, things like that. It's all on my piercings playlist, which is always down in the description box if you want to check that out. But I just couldn't ever do that to myself again. I could never go through that process. It took way over a year to heal. It was painful to get done in the first place. Like, it hurt like hell. I just couldn't ever get another one. And even if something happened to my top one, like say it migrated too much over the years and it just thinned out and I took it out, I wouldn't get it redone again. So this is the only belly button piercing that I will have for life. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if my mind will ever change on that, but for right now, I could never get another belly button piercing again in my life. Oh, it was so bad. And also, the skin's a lot thicker in the lower part, so that would just mean it would just hurt even more. The process would be even more annoying. And again, rejection rates are just so high for surface piercings that I just don't know if I would ever want to, you know, risk a piercing rejecting. I got very, very lucky with my top one. I am surprised my top one didn't reject. So any of you out there who could handle both and they both healed wonderfully, I am super jealous of you, and congrats, because I could never do it. And the last kind of like piercing or a modification that I wouldn't really do is any sort of like hip piercings or any type of skin anchors or microdermals or anything like that. I could never ever do either, just because the rejection rate again is so high. And another thing about those piercings that a lot of people don't know is they're not meant to be permanent piercings. I mean, no piercing is permanent, but those piercings aren't meant to have for long periods of time. They're just meant to be like temporary things, like hip piercings. No one's gonna have hip piercings forever. Like, I mean, you could have a lip piercing for as long as you wanted, but eventually hip piercings and dermals do eventually reject out. They're just not meant to be very like, you know, forever type piercings. They're more of like a temporary fun thing. Another reason why I would never really get them is because I do have dogs, and one of them is a terrier, and one of the biggest things about terriers is they really like to jump. And, you know, just kind of like, at least mine does. Mine likes to jump up and down and try to like nip at me. And I couldn't imagine the immense amount of pain I would be in if he jumped up on me and caught one of like the dermals or a hip piercing or anything like that. I just couldn't even imagine. So I would just rather not go through with that and deal with it. So yeah, I would never get one of those. The only kind of really big surface piercing that I would consider getting is a nape, which is the like back of the neck type piercing. I think those are super, super cute. So that is everything for piercings that I wouldn't get. Now moving on to tattoos I wouldn't get. I don't really have anything that I wouldn't get because, I mean, I already have places in spots that are pretty like, you know, not invisible. Like I have one on my hand, on my arms, I have some. So, you know, I'm pretty open to putting a tattoo anywhere, except the one place I would never, ever put a tattoo is my face. I'm not a fan of face tattoos per se because I don't know, like, why? Like, I guess I just don't get why you would want to tattoo your face. I mean, I guess a lot of people who don't have tattoos other places would say the same thing, like, oh, I don't know why you would tattoo your arm, or I don't know why you would tattoo your foot, but I don't know, I just feel like face tattoos just shouldn't be done. Like, I feel like it's something that you should like really think about, because I mean, it's your face, it's something that you can't really cover. So I don't know, I would never tattoo my face personally. I just don't think it would look good. And also to add on to the list, other just kind of like body modifications that I wouldn't get are more of like extreme ones. Like I would never split my tongue, I would never get like horns, I wouldn't get like elf ears, I wouldn't get any sort of modification like that just because I don't think that would make sense on myself personally. So I wouldn't get those either. I would very much be open to suspension. I think that would be kind of fun just to try once. But yeah, any other permanent kind of implant or anything like that I wouldn't get. Okay everyone, so that is everything for body modifications that I wouldn't get. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just something kind of different and new to have on my channel, so I figured why not. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and a share. I would very, very much appreciate it. Don't forget to check down in the description box for my previous videos, playlists, social media, everything like that. Let me know down in the comments what body modification that you would never get. I would love to know personally. But until then, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. I love you guys so much. Bye!